I think I might be starting menopause. Not sure. It's possible. Don't really know. Don't even know what to look for. And it's sad as a woman that that's not something that is communicated in all the doctor's appointments that I go to. But I am currently using Zepbound, and I know that there are women out there that are using Zepbound and also going through menopause. But I had a hysterectomy in 2019, so I am not no longer getting my monthly cycle. However, from the day that I had my hysterectomy, my body still has signs of, like I'm having my cycle or that I'm going through some type of, I don't know, period symptoms or whatever. For some reason, I can't think of the word. That's another reason why. So the other reasons why I feel that I might be starting menopause, and I'm a little concerned with my Zepbound. Not overly concerned, but I do know that when you're using Zepbound and you're going through menopause, that it may be a little bit harder for you to lose weight because of your body going through those stages of menopause. Let me be quite honest when I say this to you. I'm just thinking in my mind that the only thing that people generally talk about with menopause is hot flashes. And I'm always cold. So I'm like, oh, not happening. Let me give you a little bit of background. So I had my hysterectomy in 2019, and I started my weight loss journey a while ago. And I spoke with my doctor about, my gynecologist, about the weight just staying on me, and I don't understand what's going on and why am I taking so long and the other symptoms. And I explained to her from the day that I had my hysterectomy, I still get symptoms every single month as if my period is coming on. I would still get bloating, I still had breast tenderness, I still would gain that 5 pounds, I still had an attitude like crazy. I never had cramps. That's not something I've ever had in my life, so I didn't have that symptom at all. I had other types of symptoms. And so I was saying that maybe it's possible that they were slowing down a little bit. And so I said, maybe, maybe I'm in that process of menopause. I was welcoming of menopause and definitely afraid at the same time, because the stories that you hear from a lot of women is never a positive. It's never a positive situation or event in your life. It's never something that is done with ease. And so I was like, okay, I just wanted to get it over with. Let's do this, until I learned that menopause could last for years. It's not something that can happen in a couple of months. Well, now that I'm on my Zepbound journey and I am more keen into my body and the things that are going on with my body, there are some things I'm realizing, and I'm just trying to kind of figure them out. Let me say this, that I've already had my yearly physical with my gynecologist, and she doesn't at this moment have any concerns. But 2 years ago, when I was thinking about what's going on with my body, I asked her, based on the recommendation of my primary physician, that I wanted to do a blood test to test the estrogen in my body. And she was like, well, there's no real blood test that can tell you if you're in menopause, but we'll still do it. It was time for my yearly physical. She said, okay, I'll check off the boxes that I need. And that's exactly what she did. She checked off all the boxes. I did my blood work. I went back into her and I went over my results with her. And she said, you're not in menopause. And again, I was somewhat disappointed and definitely afraid at the same time, because I am now 50. So it's like, when does menopause start? These are not conversations, like I say, that we normally have. But I did have that conversation with my gynecologist, and her answer was, I don't know. It's based on your body. And so for me, I did not get my period at a young age as the young girls do now. I actually got my period very late, in high school, like senior year, close to my senior year of high school. And so with that happening, she said more than likely me going through menopause would be later in life than other people. I don't know what that means. I don't know the scientific facts behind it. I actually didn't ask because I was just, like I said, a little confused about why is my body going through this. Now, what she said was I could be perimenopausal, and that means that I could be going into that stage, but at that time, absolutely not. So I said, okay, perimenopausal, from my understanding, could also last years, and it may not be something that is 6 months and then all of a sudden you're in menopause. But with me having absolutely no uterus, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be having spotty periods and all the other symptoms that I've actually heard about. What makes me think about this is that I am taking my measurements now with Zepbound. I'm trying to do them more regularly, and I'm doing them now on a monthly basis. But before I was hit or miss, and so now that I'm doing my measurements, one of the things I have to say was that I have not always been a pear shape, or I don't know if I'm pear or triangle. I don't know what the hell I am, but I have not always been that shape. But I have always had zero stomach. My stomach has never really been over 30 or so, and even when I was gaining weight or I had weight issues over the years, which happened to many times, my stomach would probably go to 34 maybe, and it would go right down once I started to lose the weight. And so I initially instinctively assumed that with me being on Zepbound and me losing weight, that that's the first thing that's going to go. And that was one of the reasons why I started doing my measurements. I started doing my measurements because I was like, I don't see my stomach going down. I don't see it. Usually it's flat, like flat. I don't see that. And so that kind of made me just start thinking on questioning certain things. Then I heard some other people on YouTube who were like, we have this miserable menopausal belly fat. And I was like, so you get belly fat with menopause? Like, I'm thinking all of these things through because I'm taking my Zepbound and I'm doing these things and I'm journaling through YouTube. And I don't really talk about the menopause thing because I didn't think it was a thing. Now maybe it's a thing, right? And so I am starting to look a little bit more at my belly fat. Then I'm looking at my fatigue or my tiredness. And I noticed that I don't have it all the time at all. But then sometimes, like I had it for 2 weeks was my dosage, and then it went away. So I said, well, it's probably the Zepbound, right? And then I'm like, am I paranoid? I don't know. Am I having fatigue because that's a menopausal symptom? I don't know. I've also heard of people saying that they have trouble sleeping when they're going through menopause, and that was one of my side effects that I've been having off and on with my Zepbound journey. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. Before I started Zepbound, I did have trouble sleeping sometimes, but I had trouble sleeping when I was 35. So it wasn't I was a full time mom, wife, 3 kids. I had stepkids. I had, God. I was a busy person, and I had trouble sleeping, going to bed 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and so I can't really say that that's the same symptom because now I try to go to bed earlier than I did when I had kids in the house with me and I'm raising kids, and I wake up just as early. And there's some nights it's hard for me to go to sleep, and on a general basis, it takes me a long time to go to sleep. That's been all of my life. But now I have these bouts of having a hard time going to sleep. And so I don't know honestly if I'm going through menopause. I will probably address that when I go in for my with my primary physician who is half my age. I don't know if that would be the case. I know my gynecologist is telling me that she's perimenopausal as well. And so when we did talk about it, she was asking me little things here and there about, am I having this symptom, am I having that symptom, and I'm not. At one point, before I started taking Zepbound, which I thought was a significant thing that says, yes, you're going to menopause, I was having night sweats. And I was like, I think that's what it is. Like, so I don't know. I would wake up and I'm just like sweaty, sweaty, sweaty. So I went and bought estrogen over the counter. My gynecologist told me last year that I can go ahead and get estrogen. I went and got that, and let me be honest with you, I may have taken it maybe 5 times, and the 5 times that I took it, I was done. I didn't have it anymore. Since I've been on Zepbound, I can say maybe once or twice, but that was coming along with the having a hard time sleeping. And so she said to me, there are times that the symptoms can come and go. It's just very unlikely that they're happening so far apart, a year apart. So it could have been something else. It could have been my workout. It could have been a part of me not going to sleep. It could have been, I don't know. And I felt like there are some nights as well that I just get hot. Like I said, I am always cold. I sleep with a comforter. I sleep with a sheet, a comforter. My poor husband, 365. That's what I sleep with. I'm trying to grow out of it, but I do. And so now some nights that I literally have to like let my legs swing out, let the fan hit my legs so that I can get some air because I'm a little hot. But it's not often. It's not often at all. And I know that a lot of people, when you hit 50, like that is it. But then I also know some people in my life that went through menopause literally in their 40s. Early 40s, they started going through menopause. And I thought that was impossible. But all of our bodies are so different, especially women of color. I know a lot of what goes on through in your body has a lot to do with your diet. And so there could be so many different factors of why these women that I know were going through full menopause in their 40s. It scared me because I'm just like thinking about my own body and what am I doing and how do I prepare for this? I see now that there are different treatments for menopause. And by the way, Mochi Health does treat menopause. So I do feel that when I do get to uh, maybe a consensus, I would probably reach out to Mochi Health and see if there's any treatments that I can have since I'm already paying for the membership, as far as medication. Or I may just reach out and speak with the doctor because the doctor that I have through Mochi Health is also an expert in menopause. And so I can probably speak with her and just let her know what I'm going through to see if she can decipher whether this is Zepbound or is it menopause or is it Zepbound causing menopause. I don't have a clue. But for those of you who understand what I'm saying, I don't know if that's affecting my weight loss because it's probably menopause, or am I still perimenopausal 2 years later? Like, have you heard of 2 years later that someone is still perimenopausal? I'm quite sure that these things can actually happen. Or do I have some more fine years in me? I don't know. It just scares me because at some point I thought that I would be at a goal or a healthy weight. And I just feel that now I may have to be on this drug for a longer term because if I'm in a menopausal state and that's going to last for years, that would mean all the hard work that I'm doing will go to the side because of the fact that I would be in menopause. So I could be overthinking it. Let me know if I am overthinking it. By the way, I'm Jay. Um, let me know if I'm overthinking it, or let me know if it's something where I can kind of pinpoint that I am definitely I'm definitely in menopause, or am I actually in perimenopause? Because that will help me to understand a lot about my Zepbound journey and what it is that I am expecting. Because I think my expectations might be way up here, and they should come down if I am a menopausal woman. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that you subscribe because that'll help me with my YouTube channel. But I would love the comments. The comments are amazing and they help me, they encourage me. And right now I need a whole bunch of information or anyone who's went through this. So in fact, I am actually starting this week with posting your comments. Not all of your comments. Some people are like, no, I want to be left alone. But I'm going to start posting some of these comments because you guys are super impactful to me. Doing this journey, sometimes you feel that nobody is experiencing what you're experiencing. And I think that's just through the journey of life, not just through Zepbound. You always feel like you're alone in the situation. And there are many times during every single week that I feel that I'm alone. And so when you guys post comments to me, I respond to those comments. Sometimes I respond to those comments in 10 minutes, and sometimes it's the next day. It just depends on what my life is. But I can say that those comments are amazing. And I refer back to them sometimes when you don't even know that I look back at them and I'm like, you're right. You're right. Like, keep going. You have the same issues. You understand what I'm saying. You are going through the same exact problem. And sometimes you guys even tell me how you made it through those problems. And then it gets me to say, okay, you know what? Let me try this. Because trying something is easier than doing nothing. And so I am going to definitely, starting this video, I'm going to start posting some of these comments that I have and some of the things that people have said. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart that I actually appreciate that you took the time out to comment on my channel, on my video, on my whatever I was at that week. I know I'm probably all over the place, but so is life. So again, appreciate my comments and my subscribers. I appreciate all of you. And I just want to say again, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.